There is one singular common factor that links every living creature on the face of the planet together. This one simple and yet vastly unexplainable linking point is that we are all aging. But where the commonalities begin, the divisionary point between the human race and other species is our ability to exhibit compassion for one another and perhaps most importantly, love.
He means everything to me. It's just like, it's been the best time of my life. And I don't know what would have happened to me or either one of us, but I mean, I was sick. And he nursed me back to health and took care of me.
Well, she's basically my whole life. I could not have survived this latest episode of illness and difficulties without her. Vicki will look at me from time to time and say, "Joe, you're the best husband ever."
What started out as two people falling in love with one another would soon give way to a series of illnesses and hard falls that threw Vicki and Joe into a moment of life or death crisis.
I wasn't depressed, but I should have been. I mean, they kept telling me I'd be depressed. I'm like, well, you kind of just do one day at a time, you know? And Joe never missed a day at TCU, telemetry care, or the hospital that he didn't come up every day. And I don't know what I would have done without him doing that. That probably is what saved me because, you know, you don't have time to think about things.
But it didn't strike me that I was in real trouble until all of a sudden I was. And I just wasn't prepared for it. Next thing I know, I couldn't sit up, couldn't stand up. To get anywhere, I almost have to crawl. In fact, I did have to crawl. And for somebody who had been in the Marine Corps and had been trekking in the Alps and been very, very vigorous and so on and so forth, it was more than discouraging. It was dismaying. And yes, the fire department came out maybe so many times that they thought, no, we got to do something about this. This is ridiculous.
Mounting medical bills, isolation, and dwindling resources would soon take its toll on the couple. Not knowing where to turn, the answer would soon and unexpectedly come to them.
Their case really encompasses a lot of those different elements that we see across our caseload. It's very typical for a couple to be caring for each other and managing sort of for a long time, and then as things progress, they can't do it anymore, right? And so Joe was trying to take care of Vicki, and as a caregiver, as a family caregiver, that's a lot of pressure and it's a lot of work for that person, and eventually it doesn't work anymore. And so there was mental health issues that were unrealized and untreated, and then isolation, right? We don't have that family support, or they didn't have the support of Homage at the time, so they were calling 911 because that was their only answer.
I initially got in contact with them through the fire district. We work pretty closely with the community resource paramedics there. So that's kind of the first thing that warranted a referral in my program, and when I started working with them, I talked about a lot of different services and supports, things like Meals on Wheels, transportation services, some caregiver supports for Vicki and Joe, and also with how isolated they were and all the things that they were facing, it was just a really tough time for them.
We are oftentimes the first agency that's touched their lives that hasn't kind of rushed them through the process. There's something kind of unique about the fact that we are bumping up against the healthcare system a lot, but the staff we have are able to spend the time with people that oftentimes they're not provided to the same degree by the medical community, because there's so much pressure within the medical field to sort of see a large volume every day. This is the type of service that allows people to work at their pace.
I'm a really big believer in it's what we call boots on the ground. It's people that are in the homes of these clientele that really make a difference in their life and their quality of life, and Homage is one of those that is boots on the ground. They are out seeing people every day, and I honestly believe that the programs provided at Homage are saving lives. Not only taxpayer money, but saving lives daily.
I can vouch for everyone here that we truly care about every single client, and we will go above and beyond for each person that wants that support, that's willing to get some assistance. We're willing to make it work. me, my team, the rest of the department, other departments, I can say that.
Well, I'm sure these services don't come cheap. And there's a lot of people out there like us that have worked all their lives and through no fault of their own, come into hard times and and don't know where to turn. And if it wasn't for, if we wouldn't have had Meals on Wheels on Thanksgiving, we'd have had peanut butter and jelly sandwiches for dinner. And they brought us over a hot meal. I mean, it wasn't frozen, it was a hot meal. And milk, we hadn't had milk for weeks. And fruit. It was amazing. I don't know what we would have done, to tell you the truth.
I would say to all the people who work for Homage, God bless you, each and every one. That's how I feel.
What was once a chapter nearly coming to a close in Vicki and Joe's life has been transformed into an unwritten ending with the best years yet to come. Although Vicki and Joe have been able to turn their life from a dark place into a bright future, hundreds of thousands of aging adults are suffering from dwindling resources, isolation, and depression in silence. Together, we can make a change. We can change the future and give hope back to our aging adults.